Hi everyone, I'm Terry, and this is the Yarnjoy podcast, episode number 52. Welcome. This week marks 1 year that I've been making YouTube videos. The year's gone by really fast. Of course, they always say that time flies when you're having fun, and I'm having a lot of fun making these videos and meeting so many of you through all the comments and things that you leave me and the interaction I get with you, with those that are on my Facebook group as well. So thank you so much for everybody. Thank you for my subscribers. I have 896 subscribers as of this morning, so I'm almost to the 900 mark. So exciting. And if you haven't subscribed, please do. I make weekly videos showing the progress of my projects and talk about things that are yarn related. So if you would like to stay tuned or keep up with what I'm doing, I work on quite a few projects at one time, then please subscribe and hit that thumbs up button below if you like this video. Okay, so today we have finished objects, works in progress, and some upcoming excitement. Okay, so for finished objects, I have the 365 Days of Granny Square blanket number 5 that I have finished using the tutorials from Nadia of Yarn Utopia, following her tutorials for the 365 Days of Granny Squares. So this was number 5. I finished it, putting it together. I put it together like the join as you go method. So let me back up here and show you. I do 6 squares by 6 squares. Okay, and then I bordered it in a white. So anyway, it's finished. As soon as I block it, or well, I don't have to block it that much, but as soon as I wash it and get it ready, then it will be a donation to the Project Linus. Okay. So I'm going to put that up. And now that I finished that, I started a new set of colors to continue on with my squares, and I wanted to show you the colors that I picked out. Okay, so last group of squares that I did, a lot of the colors were dark shades, and so I wanted to pick out some lighter shades out of my stash this time. So let me pick the basket up here to show you the colors. There you go. My husband said it reminded him of spring flowers. Mainly Red Heart Super Saver. I think, let's see, these two right here, this pink and this green right here, I think those are Big Twist value yarns, which are compared or comparable to Red Heart Super Saver. Those are from Joann's. These are Red Heart Super Saver. This is Karen, not 1 pounder, Karen Pound of Love, I think. Yeah, and like sherbet, I think is that color. This is, I believe, oh, now this yarn and this one down here, which I think is, I love this yarn from Hobby Lobby. Those two were donated to me the last time I went to made a donation for the Project Linus. Where I take the blankets is to my local yarn shop. It's called In Skein Yarns, okay? And when I was there and I donated the blankets, I talked to the lady that was working there, and she said that she asked me if I would take a donation of yarn since I did make charity projects, and I said certainly. And so she gave me a pretty big size bag of donated yarn that somebody had brought in, because besides taking donations for the Project Linus, they also take donations of 6-inch squares that they just separate squares, and that they're a group that meets there will stitch the squares together and for the Wounded Warrior Project that they, or veterans that they donate the blankets to. Anyway, and this is Super Saver 2. And of course this is my never-ending orange that I am slowly is coming to an end slowly. So there's my group of colors. I was trying to figure out what kind of color to use as my color that I will border them to tie them together. And I believe, since my husband suggested really, that since it looked like spring flowers, that I may do use a green, some sort of a green color. I have a Red Heart Super Saver tea leaf, and that's a nice green color, and so I may use that one. So we'll see, because the next time I do have these set of the first 6 squares here, and so next week I will be putting them this next week they will be put together. So I'll be picking that border color soon. Okay, so the squares I left off at number 194. So this is square number 195. This is using the new colors that I picked out. So that's 195, like a snowflake square. 196. That one's really pretty. 197, this one. 198 is this one. And then 199 is this one. And square number 200 is this one. And this one was really fun. This has some back post stitches and the popcorn flower stitch in the middle. Very nice square. So that one's little number 200. Okay, so these will be put together next week, and at the beginning of that will be number 6 in my 365 Days of Granny Square blanket project. Okay, so that's my finished objects. Okay, so for my works in progress, I am working on the Christmas character square blanket, and that is a crochet along that I am hosting with a few people that were wanting to do it with me. And this is a pattern by that you can find on Repeat Crafter Me in the Sarah Zimmerman. And I am doing the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yes, the 5th square now, which is the center square, and it's the elf square right there. And the whole blanket, I'll zoom out so you can see that is there. Okay, so I've just hit the halfway point on my elf square. I think I showed it to you last week, but I had just barely gotten started with it. So here you go. Here's halfway mark. Very cute. The little cheeks, his little apple cheeks there, are pretty dark. I didn't really want to make them that dark, but I didn't have a pink color that was lighter than that wasn't so light that it wouldn't show up, that it would like blend into this skin color. And so I ended up using this pink, which is like hot pink, I think it's called, Red Heart Super Saver, because I happen to have a ball left of it from another project that I did. So there you go, halfway. So I should be finishing up. I'll probably get that finished this next week. Okay, let's see. So finished object number 2 is, hang on, let me take a drink right quick. Okay, sorry. Let's see, so finished object number, not finished, sorry. Works in progress is, I had an order for another llama to be done, the Lola the llama that I did a few weeks ago. I have a picture of it. Let's see, let me find it right fast. Yes, right here. You see the llama? I don't know if I can zoom her up very much. I can't get her all in the picture there though. Anyway, this pattern is called Lovely Lola the Llama, and it's by Cassandra Rendon. I think you say, that's how you pronounce it, I'm not sure. But anyway, I've got all the pieces done. Here's the body, it looks like an egg. And then I have all the other pieces, the feet, the neck, the head, everything. I just need to put them together now. And so this will be this is, I guess you'd say, call it a commission, but somebody had seen the llama that I had done previously, and they liked it, and so they were wanting me to make one for them. So I'm working on that. So I'll be putting that together. And let's see. Oh, and then the patriotic lapgan. I have finally gotten to the point where I want to go ahead and start the next section on it. So I'll show you that. It's quite big. Nice big size. I think this would be a good, very big size, or good size for a teenage boy that's quite tall. So I think that will be fine for my nephew. So anyway, what I'm going to be doing is, see, the size of it, I haven't measured it, but the way I measured it is I started, let me fold it down here, I started at this, the red center square right here, and then I started counting each bar of color out, going up, down, and side to side. And I have 9 bars out in each direction, so that tells me that I am definitely kept it the square shape, which is good. And so now I'm ready to start the border on that. Now this pattern is called the Patriotic Lapgan, and the pattern is by Roberta Dooley. And if you've been following my videos, you know that I have filmed a tutorial on how to put this together, or how to crochet this. And now that I've gotten up to the point where you are supposed to enlarge it to the size that you want, and then you can do the border. You just enlarge it by keep repeating the patterns, the bar pattern, you know, that you add on, and you just keep going round and round until you get to the size that you want. And so I've got that done, and so now I'm ready to start the border, and so I will be filming that as a continuation of my tutorial that I have been making. Roberta Dooley is the one that designed it, like I said, and she gave me permission to film a tutorial on how to do her pattern, make her pattern. So I will be finishing that. I probably will start that, filming that tutorial probably tomorrow. The border part has got, let me think, not that many sections to it, so I'm right toward the end, really. So I should be able to get that pattern, the tutorial finished up, and should be posted with both left-handed and right-handed versions within, you know, sometime next week anyway. So be looking for that if you're following along with that pattern, or either just watching it or doing it. But anyway, be on the lookout for it. It'll be coming soon. Okay, so then the only other thing I worked on this week is, because I was trying to get this lapgan to the good size, so I could go ahead and to a good size that I was wanting it, so then I could go ahead and finish this tutorial by filming the border. So I spent a lot of time working on that, okay? And plus I had to put the 365 square days of granny squares, that's a mouthful, blanket number 5, all that together, so that would be a finished object, okay? So that's really all I've been working on, except that I did pull out the granny square scrap blanket that I started and I was using when I filmed the tutorial about my favorite join as you go method. And so I pulled that out because it's just scraps. I got this bag that I keep very small balls of scraps in, and I just been making pieces of granny squares. Here's some there, we got some more here, and then here's some complete squares. There are 4 round squares is how big I make them for the granny squares. And then I'm using this white border and doing the join as you go method. Like I said in the tutorial, I had the 4 done, and so I added a few to these. So that's what I've got right now that's connected. And then I did complete a few more of the little granny squares, so then I can continue adding to it. Right now it's 5 squares wide, but I'll probably go bigger than that, probably 7. I kind of like to do an odd number of squares, so I may go to 7 and then see how wide that is, and go from there. So anyway, I just did a little work on that also. Okay, so that's all I've worked on this week. And let's see, so upcoming, like I said, I'm getting ready to film the border tutorial for the Patriotic Lap Yan. And then also, this upcoming Monday is the last Monday of the month of May, and so Sarah Satch will be releasing the the May's edition. Is that what you say? The May's edition, whatever, of her Harmony sample blanket crochet along. And so I will be adding to that because I am following that crochet along, taking part in it. And so Monday she should be releasing installment. That's the word I was looking for. Anyway, she's releasing the May's installment of that. So I'll be working on that this next week. And let's see. So I got that. I'm going to try to finish up the Christmas square also. Let's see. What else is upcoming? Oh, and then I have an idea for a tip video that I'm going to film, I think. It'll be a short video sharing a tip I have for not necessarily crochet, but, well, kind of crochet. Well, of course it's crochet related, but yarn related, craft related, really anything related, anything having to do with crafting, really. So to stay tuned for that. I hopefully we'll get that video done sometime next week. And then, of course, now I hope you've seen it. If you haven't seen it, then go to my channel and check out the video. But I did film a video tour of my craft room because I had recently kind of reorganized and cleaned it up since we finished our school year. So I came in here and kind of straightened things up, and I thought I'd film a craft room tour while it was straightened up. So I did that this week. It came out just a few days ago. So if you haven't seen that, please check it out and come by for a visit to my craft room. And then, let's see, so that's all the upcoming, I think. I would like to give a shout out. I have 2 new channels that I've been watching, new to me. One is, the name of the channel is Carrie's, spelled with a K, Carrie's Crochet, and she does a lot of tutorials. If you need to make an applique to apply or to put on blankets or hats or bags, or really just anything, if you need an applique to put onto something that's really cute, it'll snazz it up. I don't know, but if you, because I was thinking, you could just do a baby blanket with a very simple stitch, and then down in one corner you could have this applique that you could stitch onto it, and it would just change the look of the blanket and look like it's a whole lot more difficult than it is. But anyway, her patterns are great, and she has one in particular that I would like to do, which is it's a train engine, and then some of the cars, and they're all separate, and they even have little animals that look like they're poking out of it. Very cute, and I haven't followed any of her tutorials yet, but I'm anxious to do so because she's got some really great projects on there. So please check her out. I'll put a link below in the description box. And another person that I've been watching her videos, she's only made about 3, I think she's had 3 episodes of her videos or podcast, and then she is Melissa at Crocheting in Agreement, and she's been making really nice videos showing the projects that she makes. She does a lot of charity crochet. She does very large blankets to donate to charity, as well as prayer shawls and stuff like that. So go check out the things that she's been making. I like to, as I'm sure many of you do, I like to, while I'm sitting and crocheting, I like to have a YouTube video playing that I can be listening to and look up and look at their projects and feel like I'm in a crochet group or something. So go check her channel out. She's very new and she doesn't have that many subscribers, and so go over and see what you think. Okay, so that's my shout outs for the week. And let's see, what else? Oh, I did have a question from last week, and it was from Ruthie of Pink Pumpkin Crochet. Hi, Ruthie. I still want to call your channel Ruthie Pink Pumpkin, so, but I think that's right, Pink Pumpkin Crochet. Anyway, she gave me a question, and she asked me what I did with my single skeins of yarn. Like she said, you might have just one single skein, and it's really too big of a skein to use like in a scrap project. It's either a full skein or it's got, it's a partial skein, but has a very large amount still. And so what do you do with it? Well, what I do with it usually is, of course, you can always do a web or a search, Google search, or even just a Ravelry search for one skein projects or one skein wonders. I think they even have some pattern books that are called that. And so you can go on there and you can find ideas on things that use smaller amounts of yarn, especially the ones that say one skein projects, because it's not just very small amounts of yarn, but it's up to a size of a skein. And so I do that, like hats, accessories. Also, though, and she even, I think, mentioned like a variegated, and I'm guilty at times about getting a skein of a variegated and then not knowing what to do with it. I just like the colors in it, but then I don't know what to do with it. So sometimes I will try to pick out some of the separate colors that are in there and then find some coordinating yarns that go with it, and then put it into a larger project. Or, I mean, you can even, I know right now, Ruthie, you're been making lots of granny squares and things. Well, you can even make granny squares with them, but have maybe a border color, or like the last round of the granny square that you do, some neutral color, you know, like, or not really neutral, but like a main color. That's what I'm trying to say. Like this blanket I did back here. See, I did it, the main color is in red, okay? So, I mean, you don't have to do either white or black, you know, or off-white, you know, or something just neutral. You can just pick one certain color. You might have, like when I did that blanket, I had a lot of little balls, so it's definitely a scrap blanket. But the red on there, I had this like this huge jumbo skein. I think it's Red Heart Super Saver in red. But I had this huge jumbo skein of red that I had bought for something, and I'd had it for a while. And so I wanted to just get it out of my stash. And so I used it as the main color to finish that blanket. So it technically was not for scrap, you know, because it was a large size skein, but I used it as my border color because I was going to need a larger amount to do that with. So you can do that. Now I know Ruthie is not in the States, and so she more than likely doesn't have much Red Heart yarn. But for those of us that may have a lot of Red Heart yarn, if you've got some older Red Heart yarns, because I don't know if they do it now with the newer variegated, but they used to have a chart that you could search for. I don't know if it's on their website. I googled it not too long ago and looked at it, so it still can be found. I'll try to find a link, you know, put a link to it in the description box below. But anyway, they even have a listing of their variegateds, and then they'll have next to it, they will have the main colors that were made to make that variegated yarn. So that way, I mean, that was easy. You know, you pick out one and it's like, oh, well, you know, the main colors in this one, or not the main colors, but coordinating colors. I think that's, yeah, coordinating might be, you know, cherry red and coffee and or cafe latte, which is a brown. You know, there's different ones, and they'll pull out different colors that were made to use the variegated and then let you know in this chart what they were, so that way you could have coordinated colors to work around the variegated that you have. But I don't know if they still have that as far as the new colors, because you know they're always coming out with new shades and new colors. So but anyway, that's kind of what I do with my single skeins. So if you want to give your input, and I would love to know what you do with your single skeins that are larger than what you think you should use for a scrap blanket, and what you use with them, you know, what you use them for. Okay, so that's all, I think. Yes, and oh, I do want to say, got new glasses. I was trying to get used to them still. I think they still got to adjust them. I'm having to push on them a little bit, but what do y'all think? Better? I hope so, because these are my glasses for a while. Okay, so I think that's all, and as I said in the beginning, please subscribe if you haven't, and I hope everybody has a great week, the rest of the week, and a great weekend, and be sure to look for my upcoming videos that I'm going to be having, the border tutorial for that blanket, and for the tip video that I want to be doing this next week. And of course, for episode 53 on next Thursday. So you will see me next week. And so I hope you have a great week ahead, and a lot of restful time this weekend, and get some crafting done. So we'll talk to you later. Bye.